Right, hello YouTube, welcome back to some more From the Depths. Now, what I'm thinking we're going to do for today's episode, rather than do any more on the actual campaign, is that we're going to update, or I guess build new versions of some of our old, or start building new versions of some of our craft, because we're going to be fighting the Lightning Hoods. We've had trouble with them before, so what I'm thinking is we'll start with an updated version of the Patrol craft. So, what I'm thinking is we'll build it into a VLS ship. We'll make it a bit larger, a bit faster. We can. Maybe make this one an actual hydrofoil. And we shall give it more powerful, larger missiles. So it's not going to be huge. I'm not thinking of making this a massive craft if I can avoid it, actually, but that's the plan. So what I'm thinking is we maybe do something like that. Oop. Quite wide, but just for the sake of putting hydrofoils in it. I'm taking some ideas from one of the example craft that's built in. And what I'm thinking is we'll put our hydrofoils down the middle of this. On either side. Fairly solid. There. And then we'll have boosters of some sort at the back. We'll have a cabin at the front. We'll have the actual launchers in like a back section. So let's also save it. We'll save it in testing for now because this one might need a bit of work. 06. Roll 2 prototype. We're going to try and counter some of the Lightning Hood's own speed with our own speed. These engines have worked reasonably well for us so far, so we'll use one of these. We'll make sure we have some fuel for it. Come on. Actually, no, perhaps we won't use that engine, actually, because space. We are going to need space. I'm thinking we might even maybe have this thing jetpad, so we can have our propulsion systems above the water. But I will have to check on balance for that. If we assume we're going to have, say, something like that for our propulsion. Oh, mind you, we're going to have to stop. Actually, maybe a fan. Maybe like a big hovercraft fan type thing. A bit like a much more advanced version of the Deepwater Guard Shuriken. Something like this. So I think we can actually do. I think there is somewhere a big oh god, where is it? Misc? Blocks? Metal? Oh, where is it? Truss blocks? No. Actually, truss wouldn't be a bad idea actually here though. It's like looking like it can let air through. Apparently, I can't even find it. Which is weird because I could have sworn it was there. Oh, air. I think it's under air. Yeah, there we go, ducks. Maybe not heavy armor. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of protection for the fan, hopefully. So that'll be our propulsion. Have our VLS cells here. So we'll actually bury it partly in the hull. Actually, let's have our protection system. Or weapon system, I should say. Maybe even try and put these underneath the hull. Fire and identify friend or foe. second firing delay. Quite a large vertical kick. Or at least that's the idea. We can also do missile hatches as well. Not the prettiest looking, but hopefully it'll work. Maybe try and keep this thing quite cheap, given we're it's meant to be replacing the patrol craft. Quite sort of skeletal in some ways, I suppose. Target prioritization. Oh, I need a card slot, don't I? That's it. Oh. And a circling ship AI. Do need to tell it it's a what do you call it? We need to tell it it's a surface only vessel. I think the hydrofoils we can actually set to be yeah, I think if we do that, then when we're going forwards they'll lift up, and when we go back they'll cut off. We'll need to put a chair and test that. Oh. Does not appear to be the case. Okay, maybe it needs to be the other way up. We try and go forwards, they tilt up. Not really. I thought we'd have a little bit more power than that, although I suppose we don't have any motor drive going into it. Yeah, that's the point. We maybe do need some kind of engine. It's quite large, but it would fit under that. You know what? It does look kind of perfect. We'll fit it under that. We will try and shield it somewhat. Speed is ideally supposed to be this thing's main armor. Ah, it doesn't have any storage, of course. Okay, well, let's actually test its movement. Oh, it is actually doing it. Okay, it's meant to be the other way around. Okay, motor drive. Okay, maybe not that much. Round 2. We'll still need to Back to 0. Also maybe try aside from that as well. Let's also try maybe having a slightly raised section with hydrofoils in it as well. That are following the same commands as the others.
Listening. Water mode turning to formation now.
Okay, now we're moving a little better. A little wobbly, but that's actually maybe even good. Makes it harder to hit. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. That's sort of skimming around on the surface a bit more. That should make it easier to, should make it harder to hit. And also the fact it just generally does move a bit faster. Okay, sinking itself, that's not intended behaviour though. I definitely like the idea of that being how it propels itself, but maybe jets is a better idea. Let's try jets. Especially if we can put them more in centre of mass. More inline, I suppose. If it's too in line, it takes off. If it's not in line enough, it pushes itself into the water. Right. Let's try. Not sure what to do with this one actually. What would be the best way to push this thing along? Would it just be propellers? Try it. They kind of have the same problem, really. Small jet engines. Kind of too near the water's surface, aren't they? At least there, anyway. Guess they just give it extra jets on the front to help it pitch down. Stack, wasn't it? Okay, I guess we go back to that because that was kind of working. One that it was working on. So long as it can still turn and move at a reasonable pace, it's okay. Now we're sinking. Why do we sink? Do we need to do something about that? Okay, maybe rather than letting these ever change, 0. Just be on resting angle max, and we'll just tell the AI it can't ever stop. Or it can't, yeah, no, I think we can tell it can't stop, actually, yeah. Or Or it could stop, but it can't reverse. Be stationary, we cannot reverse. Okay, that might work. Yeah, it's a little jolty, but again, that's actually good in some ways, because that means it gives us a nice evasive path. Might even build that up through the top of the cabin and just have the detection system straight on top. They're not going to be complicated. In fact, that might well be it. No, in fact, actually, I think what we'll do is we'll go even simpler. We'll go 90-degree radars, 4 of those. Oh. Exactly the opposite direction to that, so that they're not stuck. Add a radar tracker. Yeah, let's build a bit of a cabin around it. Move this stuff forward so that the back can be at least sealed up a bit. Durability wise, considering that the patrol boat is effectively unarmoured, I don't expect these to be much worse. Not going to worry too much about the defences on these because they're just tiny anyway. Yeah, they'll cost a huge amount. Do need to get out their launchers properly though, those will need to be correct. Yeah, it should at least attempt to make these things look hydrodynamic. Oh, and ammunition, actually. It actually does need a bit more ammunition than that. Just put these in the back with... I might as well just put the ammunition in the back with the missile systems anyway. Either gets hit, it's getting knocked out regardless, and they're kind of protecting away at the back a bit. Right. So, for these... Yeah, that looks pretty good. So our lifetime, we might... 16 seconds restoration, we probably do want more than that. Second fuel tank. A 1 turn. Prediction guidance. Start delay 1 second. Restoration 32 seconds. What's the lifetime of the missile? 20 seconds. Lever regulator. We'll make these so they can live a fairly long time. The rest of that looks pretty good, but we might make these fragmentation missiles. Something a bit different. Seems they're going to be able to chase down fairly quick lightning. Hopefully that will help a little bit. Yeah, active radar seeker's good, I think. Yeah, because we've got radar systems. Oh, we could use oh, there's a part that lets your... There's a part that lets your own ship help aim, I think. Where is it? Signal processor. It's not that. Radar target simulator. Radar bullet. Maybe I'm imagining that. Right, anyway. Yeah, that should be pretty good, I think. Should guidance. Fuel duration. So fuel duration, that was the other thing. 32 seconds. Let's increase it a little bit. Let's... considering the thruster doesn't even start for 1 second, we only actually need 39 seconds of fuel duration. Spawn a... why not? A mist raider, whatever that is. Ooh, it's a cool hammerhead looking ship. Is it actually going to fire at it? Possibly not. I may have screwed something up with the firing systems. Oh, I guess it's called the Mist Raider because it also drops, like, smoke on things. At least we can run a missile systems test. Whoa! Ooh. Yeah, I think the missiles are good. Even if we have been flipped. Yeah. That's not quite how that's supposed to work. Let's get you back the right way up. Right, why didn't we fire? Is it because I forgot to actually put any kind of control system? Local weapon controller. We haven't actually connected it. That's what it is. And we don't have a transmitter. Okay. Yep, that would do it. Let's add a lead keel quickly. Because even if it's going above the water's surface, that should make it try and at least pull itself down to the water surface and also just stabilize it a little bit, hopefully. It should be just as quick, almost, but... Spawn in a Marauder. Well, I actually meant to spawn the first time. Yep, so they're moving exactly as I wanted them to. Fire up, they arc over, and then they new mint. Bit of a top-down attack. How much does it cost? 24,000. A little bit more of a passive resource cost than originally intended, but then again, that hasn't been a huge issue so far anyway. Resource burn, as long as we remember to supply the fleets properly before they go out to battle. Seems we are looking okay firepower-wise as well. They're not as quite as area of effect-ish, but they strike a lot harder where they hit the air fragment missiles. It's easy to reload and fire quite quickly as well. Some decent, actually some decent little holes in it. Of course, I'll be against Lightning Hood, so maybe I have to spawn one of those in a minute and see how it does against them. See whether we think we even stand a chance with these things or not. But we will do equivalent cost of them. That's one of the main things. Okay. So, let's see. What was the design we saw with the Lightning Hoods? The Volta, for example? It's Volta. Volta is 20,000. Let's spawn in the Volta and let's see how we do against it. Fire. Okay, we hit it. Slightly lopsidedly, but we hit it. Why is the Volta not firing back? Oh, did we hit something more important than I thought? Oh, I think we might have knocked out its connection for its laser systems. Okay, we knocked out a Volta. I'm going to spawn another one because I don't think that one was working properly. Unless the Volta itself is just broken at the moment, which is entirely possible. It's quite a similar design to ours in some ways. It's just using a lot more propulsion. Oh, we've got a hit. Okay, so missile speed could be an issue. That's what that's showing us, basically. Lightning hoods are known for their speed, after all. It definitely isn't firing. Is it trying to close the gap to be really close and then just cut a big hole in us? Is that the idea? Turn rates like that, we definitely need to do some work on these. Maybe even turning thrusters would be a good idea. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was waiting to close the gap and then hit us with the short-range laser. But we didn't explode. The ammunition reserve didn't... I mean, it killed us, but the ammunition reserve didn't go up. I'm actually quite impressed by that. Okay, if we can't hit something like a Volta, we're not going to be able to hit them effectively enough, so let's tweak our missiles. We did get a few shots off before it actually closed the distance, so... we could replace one set of fins perhaps with a turning thruster. You can use up a good chunk of the fuel if you need to. The flight duration I don't think is quite as important. Right. Back up to 100%. Yeah, turning thrusters are more powerful than fins. As it says, they can't do the fine-tuning. Also expendable. Yeah, so these are meant to be cheap drone craft, I guess is the idea. They do still chase it even when they hit the water. I guess we could make a dual mode and able to operate as torpedoes. Okay, perhaps we need to go smaller. Perhaps we need the small missiles, which will be more agile. But yeah, I want these to be very, very maneuverable missiles. But these are our main weapons, so if we have to tweak these a little bit to get them right, that's fine. Now, the only slight thing is the kick launchers will be even more powerful, so we may have to keep an eye on that. So, variable thruster. Fins, fins, fins. Yeah, lots of fins is fine. Then we'll do turning thrusters. 2 of them. Then we'll do fuel tanks. These are big for small missiles. Irony there, I'm sure. So our current fuel seconds. 18 seconds. That's fine. The missiles only last a regulator, so we get 20 seconds out of them. One turn. We can go. Yeah, why not? We'll try APN as well. We'll try all 3 guidance systems. We'll allow that with frag bodies and maybe have a mixed type warhead. We'll try and balance it roughly. And then div radar seeker. Start delay. The duration, we can put the thrust up. That's already at max. Free space used for explosive vent. Actually, no, free space used for reinforcement. Let's make the missiles a bit tougher. Why not? In case they've got lambs, which they might well do. may well have to consider armoring some of our missiles so they're not so easy to knock out. Spawn a Volta. How do we look at the moment? Oh, much better on the hits. Less on the damage, of course, but okay, that looked pretty good. We could maybe even chuck them up a bit quicker. Maybe quite so much of a stagger. Let's try 0.15. We'll also set them to be a full salvo as before. Full salvo. Okay, spawn another one. Just check with the fluke. Okay, yeah, these are definitely landing hits much more consistently. Let's spawn in a normal lightning hoods, or medium lightning hood design. Okay, Chariot Praise is sort of one-to-one cost-wise. Let's try it. Ooh. Particle cannon, right. Okay, missed the main body. I'll just punch through a useless piece of hull. That one might have hit something more important, I'm genuinely not sure. And we're getting hits. Unfortunately, there's not an easy way to price these out. It's nearly 2-to-1. But we will put some repair bots on our own one though as well, actually, so I suppose ours will be a little bit more. Maybe do that in a moment. But we'll see how pretty much one-on-one goes at the moment. This thing's quick though. Skimmer that's practically all maneuvering thrusters. It's missing now though. It might have hit its detection gate. I might even leave it unpainted. This one actually looks quite good as a bit of a stealth craft, it looks a little bit like. Oh, one moment.